is profound power in silence. In the stillness of your mind, in the quiet of your soul, the universe begins to speak in ways that words could never capture. When we pause the noise of our doubts, when we stop trying to force, chase, or control outcomes, we open the door to magic. We open the door to... Silence is one of the most underestimated forces in our modern world. Yet it holds a divine power that transforms everything it touches. When we choose silence, not just the absence of noise, but the quieting of our inner turmoil, we begin to align with something greater than ourselves. In this sacred stillness, we find clarity, truth, and the very foundation of all manifestation. So often we are pulled in 100 different directions by the chaos around us. We hear the opinions of others, we feel the pressure of society, and we drown in the noise of our own self-doubt. In that chaos, we forget who we are. We forget that we are spiritual beings having a human experience. But silence brings us back. It becomes the doorway through which we return to ourselves. In silence, we remember. When we are silent, we begin to hear the whispers of our soul. We hear the soft voice of inner guidance that has always been speaking to us, though we were too busy to listen. That guidance is never harsh, never judgmental. It speaks in love, in nudges, in feelings of peace. It says, "You are safe. You are enough. You are on the right path." It reminds us that we are connected to something infinite, something intelligent, loving, and creative. This alignment doesn't happen with effort or strain. It happens in surrender. When we stop trying to control everything with our words and our thoughts, we allow the natural flow of life to return. We allow the divine to take over. We create space for miracles to enter. Silence isn't passive. It is a powerful act of faith. It tells the universe, "I trust you. I don't need to force anything. I know you are already working it out for me." In the stillness, we begin to feel the presence of peace that has always been within us. Peace is not something we chase. It's something we uncover when the layers of worry and doubt fall away. And in that peaceful state, we become magnetic. We draw in the very things we used to chase. Why? Because we are no longer resisting them. Our energy is clean, calm, and aligned. It says yes to abundance. It says yes to love. It says yes to healing. Many people believe manifestation requires constant focus, vision boards, affirmations, and nonstop effort. But the truth is, manifestation flows naturally from alignment, and alignment flows from silence. It is in silence that we recognize our power not as something we have to earn, but as something we already possess. We are not manifesting from desperation or lack. We are manifesting from knowing. And that knowing only becomes clear when the noise stops. Silence also teaches us to observe. When we are quiet, we begin to notice patterns in our thoughts. We become aware of the fears we repeat, the beliefs we hold, the stories we tell ourselves. And in that awareness, we gain the power to change. We can interrupt the old story and write a new one that says, "I am worthy, I am whole, I am allowed to receive." But none of that awareness can arise until we sit with ourselves in stillness and honesty. Alignment means you are in tune with your highest self. It means your thoughts, emotions, and actions are all moving in the same direction, toward love, truth, and authenticity. Silence helps us calibrate. Like a compass returning to true north, silence helps us shed the distractions and reconnect with what really matters. It reminds us that we don't need to chase anything outside of ourselves. Everything begins within. When you practice silence, whether through meditation, quiet walks in nature, or simply turning off distractions, you will notice something beautiful. Life begins to speak to you. The right messages come at the right time. Opportunities appear. You start to see repeating numbers, meaningful coincidences, and gentle nudges that confirm you're on the right path. These are not accidents. These are manifestation signs. These are signals that you are now aligned, now vibrating at the level of your desires. There is nothing more powerful than a person who is at peace with themselves. That kind of energy doesn't need to prove, chase, or convince anyone of anything. It simply attracts. It magnetizes, it draws in experiences, people, and blessings that match its frequency. So give yourself the gift of quiet, even just a few moments a day. Let your soul speak. Let your heart breathe. Let your energy recalibrate. The more time you spend in silence, the more aligned you become, and the more your outer world will begin to mirror your inner peace. This is the secret. This is the magic. Stay silent, and everything you've been searching for will begin to find you. The universe doesn't shout. It doesn't compete with the noise of your fears, the chaos of your mind, or the volume of the world around you. The universe whispers. Gently, softly, patiently. And it does so with perfect timing. It sends you signs, nudges, and symbols, not to overwhelm or confuse you, but to lovingly guide you. But to hear it, to truly feel its presence and understand its messages, you must be willing to slow down, to listen, and to trust. Most people are so caught up in their own worries that they miss the guidance that is constantly being offered to them. They're looking for loud answers, dramatic signs, and immediate clarity. But the universe doesn't operate on that frequency. It speaks through subtleties. It speaks through the quiet moments that often go unnoticed. It may be a gut feeling that tells you to turn left instead of right, a song that plays at just the right time, a random encounter that feels too perfect to be random. These are not coincidences. These are messages, divine reminders that you are being supported, led, and loved. But we can't hear whispers when we are shouting. When our minds are filled with worry, when we constantly doubt ourselves, when we chase answers outside of us, we drown out the very wisdom we seek. The universe doesn't force its voice upon you. It waits for you to be still enough to receive it. And in that stillness, something miraculous happens. You start to notice the little things, the synchronicities, the patterns, the repetitions, the knowing. And you realize they were always there. You just weren't quiet enough to hear them before. When you begin to honor silence, when you embrace stillness and become comfortable with your own presence, your sensitivity to the whispers heightens. You start to feel a deeper connection to life, as if something greater is walking alongside you, guiding each step. That's not imagination, that's intuition. That's alignment, and that's what the universe has been trying to show you all along. It's easy to ignore whispers when we're addicted to certainty. We want answers spelled out in bold letters, proof we can touch, and instructions we can follow. But spiritual truth doesn't come in blueprints. It comes in whispers. It comes when you stop demanding and start allowing, when you stop begging and start trusting, when you stop talking and start listening. That's when the magic begins to unfold. The answers were never outside of you. They were waiting in the quiet spaces within you.
A whisper might be a sudden feeling of peace when you think about a new direction. It might be a repeated phrase someone says to you that resonates in your heart. It might be a door closing that breaks your heart in the moment but frees you from something that was never aligned with your highest good. The universe doesn't scream at you to protect you. It gently redirects you, patiently guiding you toward your growth and your purpose. We are often taught to value logic, to base decisions on facts, and to move quickly. But the whispers of the universe are not always logical, and they don't always make sense right away. They require faith, they require inner listening, they require the courage to follow the feeling, even when it defies the plan. This is the path of trust. It's the path where you learn that your life is not an accident, that your soul knows the way, and that everything is unfolding in perfect rhythm. Think about the times in your life when something just felt right before you had any evidence or reason. Or think about the moments when you felt something was off, even though everything looked fine on the surface. That was the universe whispering to you through your intuition. You are being spoken to. You are being protected, prepared, or redirected. And if you look back, you'll see those whispers never lied. The universe is always speaking. The question is, are you quiet enough to hear it? Are you still enough to notice the signs, the feelings, the soft nudges that try to guide you? Because when you do listen, when you become attuned to those whispers, you begin to feel supported in a way that defies words. You stop chasing and start attracting. You stop fearing and start flowing. You realize you are never alone, never forgotten, never without guidance. So breathe, be still, release the need to have it all figured out. Tune into this space between your thoughts, the pauses in your breath, the silence after your prayer. That's where the whispers live. And in those whispers, you will find the answers, the healing, and the path you've been searching for. Not loudly, not suddenly, but softly and always right on time. In the stillness of your mind, something powerful begins to unfold. Your thoughts become clear and your intentions begin to take shape. This clarity does not arise from noise or confusion. It comes from a place of centered awareness where you are deeply connected to your inner truth. As your thoughts align with that truth, they begin to carry a different energy, an energy that creates, directs, and manifests your life in powerful ways. You may not realize it, but every thought you think is a seed. Each one holds the potential to blossom into something real in your life. When your mind is scattered, those seeds are thrown in every direction, some into fear, some into doubt, some into dreams, but they grow unpredictably. Yet when you become intentional, when you are present and conscious of what you are thinking, those seeds are planted with purpose. You begin to choose the garden you want to grow. Clarity of thought is not something you chase, it's something you allow. It comes when you step away from distractions, from fear-based thinking, and from the opinions of others. It comes when you turn inward, breathe deeply, and ask yourself, what do I truly want? What feels right to me? That moment of inward focus is where your power begins. You stop being reactive and you start being deliberate. That's when the transformation happens. When your thoughts are clear, you no longer send mixed messages to the universe. You stop oscillating between what you want and what you fear. Instead, your mind becomes a channel of focus, radiating a consistent signal. That signal is magnetic. It attracts people, opportunities, and situations that match your inner state. This is the power of being intentional. You are no longer living by default, you are living by design. But to get to this level of clarity, you must learn to observe your thoughts without judgment. You must become aware of the beliefs that run in the background, those old programs telling you you're not good enough, that it's too late, that success is for other people. When you notice these thoughts, don't fight them, just acknowledge them. And the more you observe, the more power you have to choose differently. Intentional thinking is not just about repeating positive affirmations. It's about aligning your thoughts with your feelings and your energy. It's about feeling the truth of what you think. You might say, I am worthy, but if your heart still carries shame or doubt, there is misalignment. That's why clarity matters, because when your thoughts are truly clear, when they are born from love, not fear, they become aligned with your energy. Have one thought and energy unite, manifestation becomes effortless. One of the greatest shifts you can make is from thinking unconsciously to thinking consciously. Begin each day by setting the tone of your thoughts. Before the world has a chance to influence you, influence yourself. Speak words of love, of purpose, of calm. Choose thoughts that support your dreams, that honor your worth, that affirm your direction. This practice trains your mind to follow your lead instead of running on autopilot. You also begin to notice how different thoughts make you feel. Thoughts rooted in fear make your body tense and your energy contract. Thoughts rooted in love bring peace and expansion. This awareness is a compass. It shows you what to keep and what to release. You become the guardian of your mental space, the curator of your inner world. And in doing so, you reclaim your creative power. When your mind becomes clear and your thoughts become intentional, your decisions are no longer made from a place of lack or confusion. They are made from knowing. You stop second guessing yourself. You stop looking outside for answers. You trust the voice within because that voice is now clear. It is no longer clouded by fear, comparison, or noise. It is pure, focused, and aligned. And then life begins to reflect that back to you. You start to see the manifestations of your clarity, a healthier body, more meaningful relationships, opportunities that match your values. The path ahead may not always be predictable, but it feels aligned. It feels like truth, and that feeling becomes your guide. You don't have to control every detail of your life. You only need to become intentional about what you allow to take root in your mind. Choose thoughts that support your joy, your growth, and your peace. Think with love. Think with purpose. Think with the quiet knowing that what you think, you become. And remember, when your thoughts become clear and intentional, the universe listens. It responds, it aligns, and it delivers. Not because you forced it to, but because you are finally speaking its language. The language of clarity, love, and intention. Detachment is not about giving up. It's not about losing hope or walking away from your desires. True detachment is the powerful act of releasing control, of letting go of how and when something must happen. It's the quiet trust that says, I have done my part. Now I allow the universe to do its part. In that surrender, in that soft release, miracles find their way to you. When we cling tightly to something, an outcome, a person, a dream, we create resistance. Our energy says, I don't have this yet. And that energy of lack begins to grow. We push, we chase, we worry, and the very thing we want seems to move further away. But when we loosen our grip, when we stop obsessing over the details in timing, something magical occurs. We make space for flow. We invite the divine timing of the universe to enter and organize things in ways we never could have imagined. Detachment is not indifference, it is clarity. It's knowing what you want, taking inspired action, and then stepping back with trust. It's the gentle confidence that says, if this is right for me, it will come. If not, something better will. That kind of faith doesn't beg, it doesn't force, it allows. And miracles love to enter where allowance exists. Think about a time you were holding on too tightly. Perhaps you were trying to make a relationship work, or trying to manifest a specific job, or chasing someone's approval. The tighter you held, the more drained you became. Why? Because control is exhausting. It's fueled by fear, the fear that things won't unfold unless you manipulate every step. But life isn't meant to be lived with clenched fists. It's meant to be lived with open hands and an open heart. Detachment teaches you to trust the unseen. It teaches you that you don't have to micromanage the universe. The energy you send out through your thoughts, feelings, and intentions is already shaping your path. Obsessing over it doesn't help. In fact, it often blocks the very thing you desire. That's why letting go is so essential. It clears the path for miracles. There is a sacred space between desire and outcome. In that space, your faith is tested. Will you stay anxious or will you stay aligned? Will you keep checking, doubting, and trying to force? Or will you rest in the knowing that it's already done in the spiritual realm? Your answer determines your experience. Those who wait in peace tend to receive with grace. Those who wait in fear often delay their blessing. When you detach, you give yourself the greatest gift of all, freedom. You free yourself from stress, from disappointment, from the roller coaster of expectation. You step into a vibration of peace. And from that place, you become magnetic. You attract not only what you desire, but also what serves your highest good, often informs far better than what you first imagined. The people who often manifest with the most ease are those who are unattached. They have a playful relationship with life. They desire deeply, but they don't obsess. They set intentions and then go live their lives. They remain open, not fixated. And in that openness, the universe flows freely to them. It's okay to want something. It's natural to dream, to set goals, to have visions for your future. But it's equally important to let go of how that dream arrives. Trust that your energy is enough. Trust that what is meant for you will never miss you. Trust that by releasing attachment, you allow something greater to unfold, something you might not have even known to ask for. Detachment brings peace, and peace is the soil where miracles grow. The moment you surrender, you signal to the universe, I believe. I am ready to receive. And that belief, that readiness opens the door for the extraordinary. Suddenly, the job offer comes out of nowhere. The healing you longed for arrives. The opportunity you couldn't force your way into finds you with ease. Why? Because you stopped pushing and you started trusting. So breathe deeply, release the need to know every detail, let go of timelines and outcomes. Um, Feel the freedom that comes with surrender. The miracle is not just in what arrives, it's in who you become. When you stop forcing and start flowing, you become light, you become peace, you become aligned. And from that alignment, everything begins to shift, for sure. Detachment isn't the absence of desire. It's the full presence of trust. It's the gentle knowing that what's yours is already on its way. You don't have to chase it. You just have to be still, be clear, and be open. Let go, trust the process, and watch as miracles begin to unfold in ways that bless, surprise, and uplift your soul. There comes a moment in every seeker's journey when they realize the power of letting go. It's not that they stop caring or abandon their desires. Rather, they stop searching with desperation. They stop chasing answers from a place of lack. And it is in that sacred pause, in that calm surrender, that signs begin to appear. The universe speaks, not in chaos, but in stillness. And when the desperate need quiets down, guidance starts to emerge in the most unexpected and beautiful ways. Desperation is a frantic energy. It comes from fear, from scarcity, from the belief that something vital is missing from your life. You begin to search outward, constantly asking, where is it? Why isn't it here yet? What else can I do? And in doing so, you send out the signal that you are not whole. You are not enough. You are separate from what you desire. But the truth is, the universe does not respond to begging, it responds to alignment. Searching desperately is like trying to tune a radio to a station by frantically turning the dial. The more frenzied you become, the more static you hear. But the moment you slow down, breathe, and fine tune your frequency with calm intention, the music becomes clear. That's how signs work. They appear when you are still enough to notice them. You don't need to push or plead for signs. You don't need to force clarity. The answers you seek are already making their way to you, but they require space to land. When your mind is crowded with doubt, urgency, and endless questions, those subtle whispers from the universe can't get through. But when you pause, when you choose peace over panic, you create an opening. And in that opening, signs begin to flow. Sometimes it's a song on the radio playing lyrics that speak directly to your heart. Sometimes it's a number that repeats wherever you go, or a conversation you overhear that answers the exact question you've been holding. Sometimes it's a dream, a sudden knowing, or a gentle nudge that leads you forward. These signs aren't coincidences, they are confirmations. They are reminders that you are being guided and you are not alone. But you must remember, signs do not come to prove your worth, they come to affirm your path. The universe already knows you are enough. The moment you stop trying to earn your blessings and start trusting in your alignment, you create space for miracles to unfold. The more desperate your search, the more blocked the flow. But when you rest in the knowing that everything is unfolding as it should, the signs begin to dance around you like stars lighting your way. Letting go of desperate searching does not mean giving up. It means shifting your energy from grasping to allowing. It means trusting that the universe works in rhythms and timing that are far more intelligent than your own. You may want something now, but life might be preparing something better. Your delay may not be a denial, it may be divine preparation. You are not lost. You are not forgotten. The guidance you seek is already around you, already within you. But to hear it, you must quiet the noise of urgency. Desperation says, something's wrong, I need to fix it. Alignment says, all is well, I'm open to receive. Can you feel the difference? This shift in energy is powerful. When you stop looking so hard for the sign, you become the sign. Your peace becomes a magnet. Your trust becomes a light. You begin to walk through life with a calm certainty that everything you need will come at the perfect moment, and it does. As you relax into trust, you become more receptive. You begin to notice the synchronicities that were always there but hidden beneath your anxious thoughts. You see how one encounter led to the next opportunity. You realize how delays protected you. You recognize how everything has been gently guiding you home to yourself. You don't have to strive for clarity, you just have to allow it. You don't need to beg the universe for signs, you only need to quiet your mind and listen. In the silence, in the surrender, in the trust, there the signs will come. So take a deep breath, release the grip, stop trying to force answers. Know that you are on the right path, even if it doesn't all make sense yet. Choose presence over panic. Choose trust over tension. Choose peace over pushing. Because when you stop searching desperately, that's when you finally start seeing. The universe doesn't shout, it whispers. And those whispers are everywhere, waiting for you to be still enough to hear. In a world that glorifies hustle, movement, and constant productivity, the idea that stillness could be a powerful action might seem strange, but stillness is not inactivity. It is not laziness or avoidance. True stillness is a conscious state of presence. It is choosing to pause, to center, and to connect deeply with the wisdom within and the divine intelligence that surrounds you. In that sacred pause, more is accomplished than in 1,000 frantic steps. Stillness is the most powerful action because it aligns you with the power that creates worlds. There is a time to move and there is a time to be still, but most people are afraid of stillness. They fear what they might feel or hear when everything gets quiet. So they keep running, doing, planning, filling every moment with distraction. But you cannot hear your soul's guidance through noise. You cannot connect with your higher self in chaos. The answers you seek, the healing you long for, the clarity you desire, these come in the silence. They rise when you become still enough to receive. Stillness allows you to hear the voice beneath the chatter, to sense the next right step, not with your mind, but with your heart. It's not about freezing your life. It's about stepping back from the mental frenzy. It's about resting in awareness. From this space, everything begins to shift. Anxiety loses its grip. Clarity emerges. Creativity flows. Solutions that once felt far away suddenly become clear. Why? Because stillness reconnects you to the source of all wisdom. When you are still, you step out of reaction and into response. You stop being pulled by fear, urgency, or pressure. You start acting from peace, from purpose. And this kind of action, the kind that flows from stillness, is 10 times more powerful than frantic effort. It is focused, it is aligned, it is supported by the energy of the universe. Stillness teaches you that you don't have to chase, you don't have to force, you don't have to exhaust yourself trying to control everything. You simply have to return to your center. And from that place of peace, all things begin to align. It doesn't mean you won't act, but your actions will come from clarity, not confusion, from faith, not fear. You've probably had moments in life where after trying everything, you finally let go. And suddenly things started working. That's the power of stillness. It resets your energy. It reminds you that your worth is not tied to how busy you are. It reconnects you to the truth that everything is unfolding perfectly, even if you can't yet see it. Many people are conditioned to believe that doing more means achieving more, but sometimes the greatest transformation comes not from doing, but from allowing. Stillness allows you to process emotions. It allows you to hear your intuition. It gives your body rest, your heart space, and your mind a break. And in that spaciousness, divine guidance rushes in. Nature understands stillness. The trees don't chase the wind. The sun rises and sets in perfect rhythm. Rivers flow effortlessly toward their destination. Nothing in nature is rushed, yet everything is accomplished. You too are a part of that divine rhythm. When you align with it, life becomes less about struggle and more about flow. If you're in a season of uncertainty, if you don't know what to do next, instead of forcing your way through, try becoming still. Sit quietly, breathe deeply, place your hand over your heart and simply ask, "What do I need right now?" And then listen. You may not get the full answer immediately, but you will feel a shift. A soft knowing will begin to rise. You'll start to notice signs, gentle nudges, or a deep sense of peace that reassures you you are exactly where you need to be. Stillness is not about withdrawing from life. It's about becoming fully present in it. It's about listening deeply to the inner voice that's always guiding you, but often drowned out by the noise of daily life. It's about realizing that the more deeply you are rooted in peace, the more powerfully you can show up in the world. So don't be afraid to pause. Don't be afraid to rest. Don't be afraid to be still. In the quiet, you reclaim your power. You remember who you are. You release the illusion that you must do everything on your own. And you reconnect with the source of all that is. Stillness is not the absence of life, it is the presence of awareness. And from that place of awareness, miracles begin to unfold. Answers come, paths clear, doors open, and you realize that what you were trying so hard to make happen has already begun.